Hi, besties.
Yo, yo, yo.
Nice to see you, everybody. Tonight is Monday. It's time for Monday Night Besties. I'm going to quickly derail and say that I am still wearing this Bryan Danielson sweatshirt. I refuse to take it off. I won't let the dream die. I think I'm still in mourning. I don't understand. I'm in shock. I don't want to discuss it.
We have to, though. I mean, we can start there. I mean, I know we're going to talk Raw, but you had a big assignment you worked.
I can't even discuss it. I really can't. It's too emotional. You know what? There will be potentially written content pending. Check that little body slam. Literally, you have no idea. You have no idea. What's funny is that genuinely he's the best wrestler alive. I believe he's the best reality star alive. So there's something for everyone in that narrative. But we're here to talk about Monday Night Raw. MDB's here. Ed's here. Jordan's here. Week 2, back to back. Let's go.
Yo. Exciting. Let's kick it.
Let us know if you're in the chat. Let us know how you felt about Raw. What we usually like to do, it's your first time here, we usually like to talk about what we think was the best of the best, and then we also will mention what we found to be the least best. So everything's the best. It's just whether or not it's the best of the best, or if it's the least best. It's all the best because it's the besties. We're just trying to keep it positive. But there's always, honestly, Raw's been pretty great. So there's been a lot. I don't feel like it's a struggle to be positive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, tonight was a pre-taped show, which some people don't like. I honestly don't look at spoilers, even though I maybe should, because then I could organize my night a little better writing. But I don't. I just want to know as it airs. So
I don't look at spoilers either.
Yeah, I just don't want to know.
No.
Yeah. So I wasn't too shocked by any of the continuity points. There were some things that were with that context were kind of not odd, but we already know in real time that Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson had lost to Jade and Bianca, but then they had back-to-back matches, I guess, on Monday, or at least they had an appearance on Monday that went with today, that they did a good job of I don't think they dubbed it. I think he probably was just able to say it, but they said that they lost to them on Friday. But that was just to jump into it. That might be my best of the best, because I am very excited about the idea of having NXT teams or NXT appearances, perhaps before there's a full call up. I think that that's probably a way around how it feels sometimes people are so amazing and just lag in NXT. I think just having them kind of ancillarily pop up. But I can't imagine that main roster fans don't see Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend on their television and are whoa, you know what I mean? Because I do think their characters are so good. Their look is really amazing. They're also great in the ring. So I'm excited to see if there's more of them on SmackDown or there's more of them on Raw. So that's just for the Meta Girls. That's an already appearance on, that's a full hat trick. They did the whole thing. There's an NXT, there was a SmackDown and a Raw. So it's very exciting. Mm-hmm. It is, I would agree. I feel the women's division, unless you're trying to,
for sure.
Yeah, unless there is actually an NXT evolution planned, where I could see that would be a rationale to continue to hold them all in one spot. But if not, I agree. I think there's definitely
I mean, without going too far, because I could talk NXT all week, every day. So I don't want to go too far. I love NXT, but it's definitely overcrowded there. I will have to say though that we're about to have a first on Monday Night Besties. We're about to have a first. So for the very first time, we extremely disagree.
Is my best your least best?
Yes, absolutely. I think this is the first time that's ever happened. This is the first. So, and my only reason, so obviously, I love Jakara and Lash, love them both. I felt like that spot would have meant a whole lot more if their match with Bianca and Jade was longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It would hit so much harder if they had a banger on Friday. Their entrances were interrupted.
Yeah.
we didn't even really get introduced to them on the main roster. So I feel like them being on Raw tonight would have hit so much harder if that match Friday was that much better. So I kind of felt like
that's true.
Like even the crowd was kind of like, oh, okay, like it's chaos happening. Like
yeah.
So for me, that was, if I'm picking a worst of the worst, I think that was it for me. And that's just because, like I said, I just thought the match should have been better. And I thought that would have been a great way to introduce them a little bit more.
I agree. I don't think there's anything. Yeah. I also thought that this particular match was kind of odd and short, only in that.
Yes. Especially for it being a women's tag team championship match. Like, yeah, we've talked about the tag team division for a while on here.
Yeah.
And it's, they're trying, I think. But that match was, I don't want to say it was disappointing. Like, I don't want to go that far.
Yeah.
But the actual match itself was, I didn't really enjoy the match. I thought they could have did so much better. Like, how many times have we seen Bianca and Io put on bangers? Like,
yeah.
And it didn't feel, I don't know. It didn't feel like that tonight. So if I'm picking a worst, that was probably my worst. It was a great night though. I mean, so much happened. Like after last week's Raw, that was the first 2-hour show. This week seemed a lot better planned. Like it didn't feel as rushed, right? Is that just me?
I don't think it felt as rushed. I wonder if because last week was that double taping, did they did they cut or did that add the levity in the lineup for the second half? Like, did they perhaps overextend themselves on the first episode that aired live, and then the second one they kind of had a little bit more pace with? I do think there was some nice pre-taped segments that I thought were pretty was there more than one? I mean, I'm assuming that Seth Rollins one was taped knows when. Is Seth Rollins on an AEW-esque plan where he shows up 1 week a month, changes the jacket a couple times and does some stuff backstage and goes home? I'm not sure. Anyway, don't start rumors. I don't know that. But because this is pre-taped, I just assume it was done last week. It was done last week like everything else. But yeah. So there was with Bronson Reed, and then a backstage that was in the locker room with Seth Rollins. That's why I didn't understand totally, because the Bronson Reed one was more like a setup, on a patio. They looked like they were, having a real business.
That almost made my worst of the worst, because I also am feeling kind of weird about that. I get it. It's a way to it's a feud to not have Seth in the heavyweight title picture right now. It's a way to, let Gunther go, move on and go towards the crown jewel thing. I get it. So it's a way to keep Seth away from that. I get it. And it's a way to push Bronson Reed, which they're clearly doing, pushing Bronson Reed. So, but I don't know. I wasn't really feeling that either. But other than that, though, I think everything else tonight was solid. Other than those two things, all of the rest was 100% fire. It was really hard to pick a best of the best tonight. I literally didn't pick my best of the best until we started recording. I finally made up my mind. So my best of the best, I'm going main event. I'm going with the main event. I really love the fact that, first of all, Tiffany Stratton main event in Raw.
Yeah.
Huge. I feel like, they're pushing her obviously on SmackDown, but it's really huge for her to also be with the Raw crowd. They gave her a big ovation. She got a big, reaction from the crowd. Raquel's back. Raquel main eventing. I love when the women main event on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it because anytime the women main event the show, it's a plus for me, because I've said it so much on the show. The women's division is better than the men's right now. It's booked better. Honestly, the title pictures in the women's division I'm enjoying right now. So I'm glad that they main evented tonight, and more in particular, Tiffany Stratton getting some shine tonight and the main event with teaming with Rhea Ripley. That was my favorite. The match was good. They got a decent reaction from the crowd. I loved it.
That does seem like that. It is.
New tag team name. I like it, MDB.
I'd actually probably, because I'll do anything to scam a Rhea headline, if I'm being honest, because people love Rhea. I think that they would be the funniest tag team. I think that it also is very clear that Tiffany's days with Nia Jax are numbered. I'm pouring this Diet Dr. Pepper. I hope it's not super loud. But I do think that her days with her are numbered, and I don't think that she's someone who needs to be with another person. But I just like the juxtaposition of that. And I secretly will not be satisfied until I see Ludwig Kaiser and Tiffany Stratton on the same brand together. Because it just like makes me sad that they have different travel schedules in that way. But I also I think that the Raw singles division is like a little bit, it's not sparse, but like beyond Rhea and Liv. Like what are we looking at? You know, there's other people who have been involved, but I do like the idea of having, I have liked how the last, I think it was SmackDown was like this too. The last couple episodes of both shows have felt like it's a little bit less of a brand split.
Yeah.
And more of like what the appearances are based on what the storyline calls for. So like we're seeing people pop up across shows that it's not necessarily like, yeah, Liv and Dom and Raquel weren't supposed to be on SmackDown, but they were. And so that's kind of, and then Tiffany can come back this on Monday and kind of have that receipt moment too. So it's kind of, I like that. And I always like to see, this type of, this, I don't know, I'm not sold on this crown jewel business, but I do like the, I always like a good, like brand versus brand type of deal. And I like the two champions facing off, because I didn't necessarily think that I wanted to see an in-ring promo segment between Cody and Gunther until it happened. Right. So I still think that there's kind of like pieces with both of those big matches. So both Nia and Liv and Cody and Gunther that still can be like pulled apart. And it's a little less random than it seems. Like I'm more excited for Crown Jewel this week than I was last week. And if that's the goal, is to like build to individual premium live events, I think that did a good job this week, because now I'm more engaged with the idea of these kind of two worlds colliding, but they're already beginning to collide in a fun way. So
yeah, the men's, I'm definitely more excited about the men's matchup for Crown Jewel, especially after the promo tonight. Like you said, like after hearing them two go at it a little bit on the microphone, I really, it sold me a little bit. Now the women's side, I'm still not entirely sold. The women's side to me still feels weird. While I love Nia Jax, and while a lot of people love Nia Jax, it's still two heels against each other. So it just feels a little weird. It feels like it's almost a month. Like, what is it? It's a couple weeks away, beginning of November. So like, I don't know. Maybe something will change. Maybe Tiffany cashes in before then, or cashes in at Crown Jewel to spice that match up a little bit, which could be a possibility. And I mean, she already thinks she's princess and crown her as it is, right? So like, she could be both champions. Tiffany could win 2 titles that night, maybe.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Maybe that'd be fun. That'd spice the matchup. But definitely after Cody Gunther's in-ring promo battle tonight, definitely enjoyed it. And I love that Gunther really gave him respect too. At the beginning of the promo, like it's like, he really gave him his respect and let him know, like, yeah, I understand that, what you've built right now, I wouldn't be champion right now if it wasn't for you and the, what you've done for this company and how big we are now. But I'm also going to let you know, like, you are who you are. You got a lot of enemies too. Right. And it's your biggest weakness is trying to be everyone's friend. I love this comment too. Yes. So true. Everyone's friend is nobody's friend. Nobody's true friend.
That's
good
true.
Stuff, Gunther. Good stuff.
It's good stuff.
That's a great quote.
It was. You know what else was a good one is when he told him he wanted to be everyone's darling.
Yes.
The look on the man Cody Rhodes, not the character, but the look on the man Cody Rhodes' face was so fascinating.
Yes.
Because that one felt like, oh, what I like about WWE right now, and like I think happens in the Drew and Punk stuff, or it happened. I just tonight was struck by the Gunther and Cody, is that there are these moments where I'm confident that they know when the fourth wall has been broken, but the fact that we don't always know but that sometimes you can kind of tell just by like a shift in countenance. Like that was something, I don't know if that's something that, I don't know if that's a rib. Like, I don't know if that's something that he already has been told about himself and that's,
Right.
you know what I mean? But like just the human reaction to being told that his like part of the weakness was always wanting to be everyone's darling was like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Cause
it
he
felt
really,
real.
it's so much nastier, I think, than the politician Cody, right? Because politician sort of means duplicitousness, but to say that someone wants to be everyone's darling, it just means that they're ultimately thinly veiled in insecurity. So it was pretty mean. That was a mean one. Gunther's mean. You know what I mean? Like
I love it. His promos are, the longer he's champion and the more he talks, the better he is getting. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. If he can, like, he's already one of the best in the ring, but if he keeps getting like this on the mic too, I mean, stop. Like he's already elevated it to a new level. So I loved that tonight. Something else too I loved was it felt like a goodbye between Rhea and Damian. I think that really felt like that was the end tonight.
Yeah, it did. What kind of championship do you think he's going for now? He wants to be El Campeon again.
Yeah, he wants to be El Campeon. I think he wants to go back after his title that he lost. I mean, he's not going to face Jay. Like, So yeah, I think he's going to try to go back after that probably. But I think it more so was just, I don't even think it was necessarily about a title. I think it was just necessarily meaning he's going back on his own path.
Yeah, just as a singles guy doing his own thing.
Yeah, I think it was more of that, but it felt a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. I've been so used to talking Judgment Day on this show, and I know I've said it. You know, we both talked about it. How we've said like the Judgment days are numbered, and that we felt like it was getting close to the end, and here we are. It's here now, so it's hard to believe that we are actually getting ready to say goodbye to the Judgment Day, who have ran Monday Night Raw and our post show for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's, we should look at the titles of the shows, because honestly, I think the entire Besties catalog, I wouldn't be shocked at all if like 75% of the titles were about Judgment Day, because they have been so integral to everything going on in Raw. And
when we started our show, Finn and Damian were the tag team champions.
Yeah.
And then Rhea won, then Damian won, then JD McDonough and Finn went. Like, then Dom won the NXT North American title. Like, since we started this show, all we've talked about is the Judgment Day, and now it's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. It's for someone that loves heels as much as I do, it's kind of sad to see a great heel faction disbanding.
Yeah,
that's kind of sad for me tonight.
But
it's a good moment too, though.
But I just don't see that going a lot longer. I think they're having a whole tournament just to figure out.
Yeah, I think the tournament is to also get those off.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't be mad if the War Raiders just went right to the top, because I feel like the last time we saw Ivar, he was so cool. Yes. And I don't see him going back into a feud with Bronson Reed. Like we're already, I think we're done with like a particularly singles Ivar moment. But if we could capture some of that rocket to the top for Ivar, that would be fun, because I do really. I forgot that Valhalla, I was going to talk some shit, but then I forgot that she's actually heavily pregnant. That is why there is no Valhalla. She is due next month.
Damn.
So yeah, that's how long the War Raiders have been off our TV, that there had an opportunity for Valhalla to have pregnancy committed against her and now still be heavily pregnant. So that's why there was no Valhalla. I hope she has shoes when she returns. I think saying Valhalla should have shoes was like the first mean thing I ever said, and I got really scared because I was like, that girl can beat my ass. And like, she still can beat my ass, but
didn't Solo used to wrestle with no shoes too when he first?
Yeah. No, he did. And he was even on the main roster with no shoes.
Yeah.
Because I remember which was it? one of those premium live events, they were teasing him. Jay and Jimmy were telling him he needed shoes because he was gonna burn his feet, and he was like, no. And then I think he went out there and actually did. And I think he does wear shoes now because of that, because it was like a really the thing was really hot.
That's funny, yeah. MDB. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
So War Raiders are back. They beat. If I'm gonna have like one arbitrary complaint about something that I used to love, it would be this. What the hell is happening? Why is Alpha Academy? Why are you okay? Chad Gable just gave them the name. I get it. Whatever, dude. That's fine. But then Otis is still wearing a free Otis t-shirt, but you're free, my man. So what are you getting free Otis from Alpha? Like, now you still want out of Alpha Academy. And Kira Tozawa is such a cutie patootie, but I also think that he's secretly like this crazy Ninja Warrior wrestler that they should actually be utilizing, and perhaps he would be really fun as, remember how Braun Strowman and Ricochet were like balling together, and it was sort of one of those things that you didn't expect. I feel like Kira Tozawa should be with a bigger guy, not big as in husky, big as in statuesque, like tall, and so he can like get thrown off of people and stuff. I don't know.
He needs a big back.
He does. He does. And I think that Maxine Dupree can just stay with Otis. Like, maybe just Otis. Do we just get singles Otis? I just I don't see the point in them staying in tag team. But I
agree. I've kind of felt that way once they kind of moved on from American Made. It's like, all right, well, that's over. So
why are we doing this?
I'm with you. But I will say, in the contrary to that, something that I thought I was over, that I am not. So I was actually shocked tonight in a good way. I actually enjoyed Karrion Kross in the Final Testament tonight.
There you go.
I was. So I really enjoyed Ms. R-Truth.
That was good.
That was pretty fun. Good. I'm not gonna lie. Look, I can be pretty critical of Karrion Kross and this whole weird shit he's on. All right. I've been pretty hard on Karrion Kross, but tonight was brilliant. Like, I loved it. I really did. R-Truth, that Final Testament, Karrion Kross, all of them come out during, the beginning, really, of R-Truth and Miz, who face tonight, former tag team champions, and distracts Miz just like that. R-Truth gets the 1-2-3 pin, and R-Truth is leaving all happy. Walks past Final Testament. They're like, yeah, good job. He gets serious. Kross gets serious real quick, like, get him now. And it's like, oh, okay. Final Testament beats the crap out of R-Truth, throws him in the ring. Miz gives him the what is that called? Somebody help me out. What's Miz's special called? Finisher. But Miz gives him the finisher.
I can't think of it either.
I forget. Yeah, I forget. And then just the way Karrion Kross, they look so proud. I don't know if Miz is technically joining them or not. But also something else to point out. Remember, I told you the Wyatt Six and Karrion Kross and them were gonna skull crushing finale. Thank you, MDB. Remember, I told you Wyatt Six and Karrion Kross and them were gonna cross.
Yes.
Very convenient that the Wyatt Six thing happened during that. Just saying.
That actually gives a lot more relevance to whatever the hell has been going on, and that would also sort of explain a stop-start situation with their just like overall story, because I do think Karrion Kross and Scarlett and the cards and the, what I mean, I think it's like not meant to have drug out this long. I think there's been like situational things that have gone on. So that's fun. I wonder, I don't know if the Miz is properly joining or if he's just sort of like an affiliate. He's a Final Testament affiliate at this point. That's exciting. I didn't follow any of that QR. If there was a QR code, I didn't follow it. I didn't do any of it.
I was hoping you.
I'm usually like really on it, and like tonight, I did not deep
just to get people caught up though. Amanda literally she writes every Monday too during and after Raw. So like literally to the second we start recording, she's literally like finishing up like and then we're on. So like she does a great job. I wanted to give her flowers on that.
I don't know for tonight. I don't know how many I did. Probably like 6 or 7. There wasn't that many. I started at 1. I don't know, but I hope I haven't crossed it. I was at 6,940 articles the other day, and I just think it'll be funny when it says 6969 to take a picture of it. And I want that. I just want to know what that article is. I know that number 1,000 was about John Silver said that Anna Jay would get eaten first if there was a real life Jurassic Park. Because I was like, that's the weirdest. Or no, if they were like dinosaurs or something, who would get eaten first? It was the weirdest possible article. And so I was excited about having the weirdest possible one. That was my 1,000. Why am I going to, why do I go to jail?
What'd you do?
Why? What did I do?
You did something I didn't know about?
I am actually. So as long as,
that's right.
I'm just gonna blame it on that. No matter what I did, I am going to blame it.
Ooh, I'd make you mad if we talked AEW because I loved it. I'm sorry. I'd make you so mad.
I've yet to watch the broadcast version.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I wanted to like get my thoughts out of the experience, and I will tell you that was like, just like spoiler alert on my article is
Amanda was there too, just to catch anyone up. She was there.
Yeah, I was actually at Wrestle Dream, and it was, I don't know if I'm going to keep the metaphor that's in it right now. Like, I don't know if I'm going to keep this metaphor, but like the way that I could describe it was like you watched thousands of people rise in hot air balloons and each hot air balloon caught on fire at approximately the same time. Ooh. So then you're just watching, like, everyone's reaction was very different. It was like a guy was like really losing his shit on the way out. One guy was like, my hero went out like a bitch, and was like screaming. And I was like, oh my God. And then at one moment, and it was all, and swear to God, I had a real fear. Like, it was a rush of fear. I don't know what someone threw, but someone threw one thing. And I thought, oh no, because if there would be anything that Bryan Danielson, I think, would enjoy, would actually be like one of those old school riots, and like to cap that all off. And I was like, oh no, please don't do it, because the Tacoma Dome, it's not Seattle, baby. They're giving out real cans. They're giving out real bottles. It was like in Seattle at Climate Pledge, you have to pour your drink into a cup before you go onto the floor, because they don't want you to be able to have anything on the floor. And this was not like, my drink was in a plastic mason jar. And I was literally like, this is so, when they handed it to me, I was like, this is bad. Like, why are they giving these out? Like, that would be really dangerous. So then when it started going down and I saw one thing fly in the air, I was like, oh, we're going to die in this place. But yeah, no, it was okay. Yeah, it was.
We're gonna die in this place.
We're gonna die in this place. It was so terrifying.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was bad.
The little Amanda voices are funny.
That has nothing to do with Raw. I am still in mourning.
Hey, look, like, we've got a community now that, you know, I think supports what we do. I mean, we're people. Like, our lives are bigger than Raw too. So we talk about Raw, we talk about our lives a little bit, and you know, it's still wrestling. So
it is.
Let's go.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, that got me too.
I really was like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. And I will openly admit, I was one of the jokers who had nothing to say to Mariah May, because I was honestly in a state of emotional shock. I have no idea. Like, I still didn't know what was going on. And then I swear to God, I've said this to 3 different people. The only thing that I could think to say to Mariah May was the same thing I say to my daughter, where I pretend to interview my daughter all the time. And I go, is it difficult being the most beautiful princess alive? Is it hard for you to be better than all of us? And like, I say the craziest stuff in a row. And that was the only thing I could think to say. And I was like, there's no way. Like, you're going to get drugged for high hell. Don't say that. Don't say that. Like, you can't ask her what it's like to be more beautiful than all of us. So yeah. So the fear of the Twitter
can't get any worse than when Io Sky was asked
about. That's true. That is true. It was bad though, because the fear of the Twitter backlash made me say nothing, and then there was a Twitter backlash about people having said nothing.
Right.
And then I kind of I've had a fun experience in the last
internet,
48 hours.
The IWC at its finest.
Yeah, and
the Internet Wrestling Club
I think
at
I've
its
learned some good.
finest.
I think
They would kill us too if we didn't talk about what was in the title on the show.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah, we gotta talk Jimmy and Jay. They would kill us. They'd be talking about us on Twitter.
They will.
If we didn't talk
They'll
about
get
Jimmy
mad.
and Jay.
We got to get around to it. That was what I enjoy is that it does piggyback off of Smack. See, it's hard to pull these apart now. But so just real quick, on SmackDown, Jimmy came back and basically told Roman, hey, we need Jay.
Yeah.
And the whole crowd went bananas and was like, yeet. And then Roman said, no yeet. And that was basically it. And so tonight they have a backstage interaction. And I think I missed why Jay opened that door and Jimmy was in there. Was that like, did it say Jay? Like it said it was for him?
It didn't say Jay, but I'm assuming it was supposed to symbolize
like his locker room type of deal. And so because there was a door and like Jay opened it and Jimmy's in there and it was basically like, hell no. And he just like closes the door and kind of leaves. But then later they do come face to face. And similarly to Roman, it's a very succinct answer. He's just like, no. No, it's
get out of my face. He told his brother to get out of his face, y'all.
Get out of my
face. Look, me and my family and my siblings might fight, but those are some strong words, man. Get out of my face.
That's what you say before you really pop off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that's crazy. I am really glad that they're doing it slowly though.
I am too.
I'm glad they just didn't because a lot of people were like, "Oh, is Jay gonna pop up tonight on SmackDown? You know, and is he gonna join them tonight?" And I'm like, man, I hope not, because War Games Survivor Series is a long ways away. I still feel like we still got Crown Jewel.
Yeah,
you know, so we don't got to do it that fast. I think it's gonna take. I think Sammy is gonna be the one to talk Jay. I think Sammy might join first.
You think Sammy first? Oh.
And then Jay will be the very last one.
Do you think somehow Cody's ass is still in this?
See, somebody said that on Twitter earlier. I just don't see how.
I would be so irritated if it's Cody, not Sammy.
Yeah.
Like
it has to be Sammy. It has to be Sammy.
That would make me so upset.
Yeah. I would much rather it be Sammy. I don't think
Cody.
Never MDB. Never. Look, you're gonna get on this bandwagon eventually. We're gonna get you over that 2K beef you got with Sami Zayn. Don't get me started on that. That shit was funny.
Oh, this is a really good question. I think.
Oh, definitely Jay. Definitely Jay. Bigger pop for sure. Especially if it happens the way I think it's going to happen.
What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I just said I think Sammy joins first.
You just said. Yeah.
I think Sammy will join first. And it's going to take him convincing Jay to join. I think Jay's going to be the last one because, you got to think, Jay's come a long way.
That's very
Singles champion for the first time in his entire career. He's the face of the brand by himself.
Yeah.
His family turned this is look, y'all know the story. I ain't gotta say it. Y'all know the bloodline story. There's a lot into this. It's gonna take a whole lot more than I'm your brother and we need help. It's gonna take a whole lot more than that, bro. You super kicked me. I had to beat your ass at WrestleMania. We had to look, we done been through a lot, bro. Roman done whooped my ass a few times in title matches. It's gonna take a whole lot more than I'm your family and we need help. It's that simple. It's not that simple. So it's gonna take a lot more than that. Plus, I'm the Intercontinental Champion. You know, I'm royalty over here. It's gonna take a little bit more than that.
I agree. I'm excited about this.
I am too. I really loved, and it wasn't just once. Like you said, he was in his locker room, and Jay's walking in and sees him. Great acting too. It felt like Jay was just so it felt like I walked in the room and my ex was in there.
And you're like, oh,
it was just what are you doing here? Didn't even acknowledge him either. Just walked out the room, shut the door, and then later on it shows Jimmy looking for him again backstage and finds him because Jay comes out of another room, and that's when he told him to get out of his face. I've already told you no.
Yep.
And that was it. It's gonna take a minute, but I love that they're doing it. I love it because this ain't the same Jay.
That's actually wild.
That is wild.
And I think that similarly, in like 15 and 20 years, there'll be like whatever the new form of YouTube is that we all like create in our brains and cast into the sky will be like a ton. I mean, they already have bloodline retrospectives, but I think there'll be things that is like, we miss the bloodline, like 10 reasons why we miss Roman Reigns' bloodline.
Right. Be articles everywhere.
Definitely. That's so that is fascinating. MDB.
Good stuff.
If one of us steals that, and if DC writes a story about that, then
I've already wrote so many articles involving the bloodline. I am like,
have you? You're
yeah.
okay. So
I've like reached my, I've reached my quota on bloodline articles. Like at this point, like I've tried to like, and like while I've predicted some things to happen, like I have given up on how it ends. I've completely given up. Like I have no fucking clue how this ends anymore. I mean, maybe it ends at War Games and the new fake bloodline is done after they lose against. Maybe that's where it ends. But like, part of me also is like, I don't think so. Like, I still don't feel. I don't know. So like,
the only thing I think is that 1, 2, 3 from The Rock was him calling off Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and Jacob Fatu, like saying like you're done, like don't, but like it's done, like don't. But I don't know what the don't is. Like, is the don't fuck with Solo anymore? Is the don't leave Cody alone because Cody's for me? Is the don't, like, what was the don't? Like, I didn't think triple threat WrestleMania, but I mean, honestly, they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, so that's exciting. Oh, I mean, that's a good thought too.
Yeah, that could happen. That could happen, but I see that making Jay mad more than anything. So maybe that does happen and that's what pushes Jay further away and makes this go even longer. That's because, like I said, this is he don't want to win by that. He don't want to win like that. This ain't. I don't do that anymore. I don't need you, bro. Like I've done this myself.
He has done this himself. Over here.
Like
strong, independent Jay.
I'm loving it, to be honest. Like,
yes,
I'm loving what they're doing with this. They're doing much better than I thought they were going to do. Because, like I said, I thought they were just going to throw Jay on SmackDown this past Friday, and he was going to save the name. So, like, I'm really glad. Like, we've already waited this long, so like, keep me engaged, keep me, waiting for what's next. And I think tonight did a great job of that. We knew that's who Jimmy was talking about. Like, we need help. We knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they moved quickly on that and show him on Raw trying to get his brother. But I'm also glad that they're making it feels real, right? Like when you upgrade, like when you upgrade and someone from the past is trying to, someone that you've already elevated from is trying to get you to come back down. Like I don't know. It's gonna take a whole lot more to convince me. So I loved it. I love that tonight. That almost was my best of the best. I think they really booked everything with Jimmy and Jay perfectly tonight.
That's been super good stuff.
Yeah, and everything too with Braun Breaker and Jay. Like I'm loving the entire Intercontinental title scene right now. I would argue is the best title scene of all of WWE right now.
Yeah.
But honestly, both the mid card titles. I feel like the United States mid card battle right now is really good. You literally got Andrade, Carmelo, and LA Knight. But I think this one's stronger. I think Jay has already elevated this title, and Braun Breaker, a new guy that's coming in. I think they're doing it the right way with these mid card titles. And I really, again, just to throw this in there before the show's over, really feel like WWE missed a huge opportunity in having Crown Jewel for the mid-card women's championship. I really felt like they really missed a huge opportunity for that. It's like, I'm glad that they're doing champion versus champion, but like when Triple H is in the ring with, it's clearly what is a belt under that thing. Like, everyone wanted a mid-card women's championship, and then we get, oh yeah, champion versus champion for another title. So, but they are doing the mid-card titles well right now with Jey Uso and LA Knight on each brand.
I don't think there's. Did we miss anything? You think that was it? Huh?
I think that's everything. I think we covered everything tonight. Yep, that's it. I mean, we moved to next week, so to quickly preview next week, we got Intercontinental title match in Philadelphia. Braun Breaker, Jey Uso for the titles. There is a tag match. Let me go to these real quick. Yeah. There's what World Tag Team Championship #1 contenders tournament continues. So New Day versus Authors of Pain will be next week. And then Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee against American Made also happens next week. So tons going on next week on Raw too. So if anybody got any comments, keep them rolling in. But I think we covered everything for Raw tonight. So all we're waiting on is the proclamations from Amanda.
You know, before we sign off. We didn't talk about my eyebrows, but thank you. I appreciate you. There's a child who's attempting to bust in this door. I wonder if he has some affirmations. I think that I need your help. My dad is literally with him. Like he's standing next to him. So I don't know. You know, we all need some help sometimes, besties.
That's right.
And sometimes you need some help. Sometimes you need help with determining who stole a cookie painting. You know, Detective Elmo needs to figure that out. And it sounds like there's some big feelings going on about that. Whatever the big feelings are that are going on in your life, whether or not it has to do with solving crimes with Detective Elmo or something more serious, I'm sure it's as important to you as it is to a crying child who's very upset about Sesame Street. So please know that as much as we care about our kids, we care about the besties. That's not true. I mean, we obviously love our kids more than you guys, but a second to our real life kids are the besties. That's right. So please do come back next week. We are excited to speak to you. Oh my God. Detective Elmo takes bribes. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's coming close.
Yeah, I think we're headed for that. That one we didn't mention, but yes, I agree. I agree with that storyline trait. Word on the street is Detective Elmo takes bribes under the table. We need to get into it then, because this guy's Detective Elmo sounds like he's causing some trouble for me tonight.
Shout out all the besties this week. Elite Spear, MDB.
Yes, Mike.
Everybody comment tonight. Mike Sweeney. Shout out to you. Appreciate
Jordan's name is back here, but Jordan came back 2 weeks in a row. So exciting. Ed, so exciting to see Ed around. We'll have to. We should have a Friends of the Besties one day. We gotta get that going. Okay, guys, take good care. Have such a good night, and be nice. You know, like the old school, like the Jerry Springer. Take care of yourselves and each other, besties.
That's right.
We'll see you next week.
Peace and love, everybody.